Okay, so today it's going to be more front end work. I'll be working on the oil filter housing gasket, the dreaded one that always leaks on the E36. I didn't find anything that was super quick on how to do this. Everything just dragged everything out too long. So without further ado, I'm going to just work on this and highlight everything you need to do to get the oil filter housing gasket done. On the E36, you do not need to remove the radiator, the fan, or anything like that. You come in through the side of the car like so, and well, you have your alternator, you have your oil filter housing, and it's all easy access. Since I have an aftermarket intake, I'm just going to loosen it right here and just pull it to the side. If you have the stock air box, pull the stock air box off and you'll have all this stuff. I also have gone ahead and removed the alternator duct, but that just pops right off and it's a hose clamp on the alternator right over there. So that's pretty easy for you to get to. If you can't get to this step, don't do this job. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll show you what else is needed. Okay, so for your oil filter housing gasket, the first thing you want to do is remove your alternator. You can go see my other alternator video right here. Basically, you have your alternator out and you can see what mess your oil filter housing has caused. All that should be more of a bright silver like that, but as you can see, because of all the oil and road grime, it's pretty black. The next thing you want to do is take off the power steering pump from the oil filter housing. That is two 13mm bolts right here. Your left one is shorter than your right one. I highly recommend organizing it this way with cardboard because then you can figure out which one goes in the exact place. And also it's because I ran out of magnetic trace. Alright, so here we are. Oil filter housing is off the car. So let me give you an overview on this first. That is what it's going to look like when you're taking it off the car. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. Then you have a Vanos oil feed line right here. And then you have your oil pressure sender right here. So unclip this. This is a 19 mil, and all these 6 are 13 mil. This one you might forget about because when I had this, there was so much dirt and gunk caked in that I couldn't actually see the bolt. Don't forget to take this one out. Now, here are the bolts. So you have the top two, those are the tensioner. You do not need to remove it, but I just did because I didn't know what needed to come off. Then you have your 6. You can see that 4, and then the bottom right, and this one is the bottom left. That's the one that I couldn't see. Here are your lengths. So your bottom 2 are the same length. Your middle 2 are the same length, but your top 2 are not. The top left is much longer than your top right. Then you have your tensioner bolts, which are the same length. And this is the best shot I can get you of the oil filter housing area. And so you have your 6 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 connected to it. Your Vanos feed line is right there. And then your oil pressure sender is right there. So all you want to do is clean this really well with some brake clean and a little bit of brushing. I'm going to put some RTV around here even though it's not required, but for peace of mind I'm going to do some RTV, and there you go. How to do your oil filter housing gasket.